Why, hello there everyone. I'm Laxow, aka the Kumo Sensei. Minasan, ohayo gozaimasu. Nojo ni shodo. And today I'm going to be feeding my Ornithoctonus species Uthai Thani, also known as the dancing earth tiger tarantulas. Let's get straight into this. So this video was supposed to be released yesterday, but yesterday I was a little bit under, so I apologize for that. But today I'm feeling better, and now you're seeing me feed these tarantulas. Now when it comes to this species, I really want to talk about this species and also showcase them, which is why I'm making this video. So let's talk about them. So this is an undescribed species of Ornithoctonus that is from Uthai Thani, and people pronounce it kind of wrong. So I see a lot of people pronounce it as Uthai Thani, but that is not how you pronounce it. It's pronounced as Uthai Thani, and that's basically where they're from. Hence why they're called Ornithoctonus species Uthai Thani, because that's the locality of where these guys were collected from. And I just want to clarify that because I see a lot of people pronouncing them wrong on YouTube and on the internet, because it kind of infuriates the Asian side of me. So just a bit of clarification, everybody. So I do hope that everyone pronounces the name right, that it is Uthai Thani, not Uthai Thani. And this is an Asian person here just trying to give a actual more clear pronunciation of how it's supposed to be. So don't take it personal, but it's just something I want to clarify. Now the specimens you're seeing here are from my personal collection. I still do have some available for sale, and I will leave a link down below to my availability list if you want to buy some or if you're interested in seeing what I have for sale. So when it comes to the species, they're actually pretty interesting. They actually have very elongated carapaces, which makes the appearance of their carapace very long in comparison to being round, which is a very unique feature of this tarantula. And I also do like the fact that they're relatively calm for some odd reason. I find them to be more of a gentle or more of a shy eater for the species, but in terms of personality and basically how they feed, really calm honestly, which is the part that surprises me for an old world tarantula. I find that to be a plus. Some people might find that to be a drawback, especially during feeding, but it does take a bit of patience to get these guys to eat. But all the ones I've gotten, they all have eaten. Even though they're a bit calm on the eating side, at least they eat and at least they're thriving. Now a couple of them, or maybe a few of them, didn't eat on video, which is kind of infuriating sometimes when you're trying to get a showcase video of just trying to get them to eat on video for you. It's funny, they don't eat on camera, but they will eat off camera, which is very kind of funny. And one of my specimens did do a threat posture, so I will show you that because I found that to be interesting. That was the first one I've ever gotten of like all the ones I've gotten so far. Now the reason why I'm making this video is because I have gotten some questions asking about the species, and the biggest question is that, do I have any males? And the answer is no. On my live stream, I did state that I did got one male, which had wrangled legs from a bad molt, but it turns out that one was not, it was a male, but not the right species. So that means I'm still looking for a male. Now somebody I did know actually got 30 specimens, and of all the 30 specimens they've gotten, all 30 of them were female. So that's kind of intimidating honestly, because I did plan on getting more, but I don't want to have more females because if I'm trying to do a breeding project, I need males. So the total numbers I've gotten was 20, and of the 20 specimens I've gotten, all 20 of mine were female. So that means that males of this species is extremely rare. Now I'm kind of torn. I do want to get a male for this species for a breeding project, but I don't think it's worth it in terms of the budget I have and how much it costs just to acquire more specimens. So it's kind of up in airs, but I really would like to know what everybody thinks. Should I risk it, get more specimens and possibly get a male? Or should I just kind of push this project to the side and let somebody else, hopefully get a male? And I really just don't know. But if I do get more, a lot of it is going to have to come through my personal budget, not through my business bank account, because I do want to keep my business assets separate from my own personal assets. The big question that keeps wrapping around my mind is that, is it worth it? But let us wait and see, because if I do have the budget and I do want to take a dive into the species again on trying to get a male, then I will go for it. But if not, I'm just going to let this one pass, and maybe, hopefully, somebody in the hobby here in the United States will actually produce them. And as stated, I do have some specimens of this species for sale, and I will leave a link down below if you're interested. So yeah, go check it out. Now another question someone has asked is how big does this species get? And they get around 5 inches, so not that large for this species honestly. Some may get a little bit larger, but for the most part, 4 to 5 inches is the majority of the sizes you'll get for adult specimens. So we're looking at around 12 to 13 centimeters in leg span, so not too large honestly, because most Asian old world species get like 6 inches, which is like 14 to 15 centimeters. So this one is actually not too bad if you don't want a large tarantula, but something that is decent in size. And someone did ask this question, and I thought it was a very good question, and I think I should answer this one as well. I almost forgot about it. So the question that somebody did ask is that, Laxow, since you're buying an inventory and since you're buying in large numbers, why don't you just request for a male that you're looking for? And the reason why I can't really do that is because suppliers are moving things so quickly, and they're moving inventory to other breeders, other businesses, and things like that. They don't really have time to focus on one person. And trust me, I am just one person in this big puzzle. Basically one puzzle piece of this giant puzzle. And everybody else is another breeder, a vendor, and things like that. So they don't really have time to specifically focus on trying to sex tarantulas for you because you're just one person and they have to work with multiple people. And also to ensure that their name stays intact, because if you have a reputation, you kind of have to upkeep your reputation if you're a supplier. Because me, myself, even though I am a business now, I still mostly do operate as a private tarantula breeder. So I do understand the frustration and basically the momentum of having to move everything out very quickly, especially in large numbers. I'm just gonna say this, if you're a tarantula breeder, and if you're a business or a tarantula supplier, a lot of the stuff you have is basically temporary. Everything comes and goes in your collection, so it's very rare to have permanent members or permanent specimens as part of your collection because you just don't have, well, you can't really afford the space and the time to do so. You're kind of always on the road, if you understand what I'm saying. But coming back into the species though, I do love the species a lot, and I do really want to produce some here in the United States. I know that in Europe they're already been produced, and I believe there's a small number that have been produced here in the United States, but I'm just not sure because I can't find any documentations of anybody producing them here in the United States. I'm hoping that somebody, whether it's me or somebody else, will produce more, and all I need is just that one male, and if I do get that one male, I'm actually going to pair him with all 10 of my females. Just because, you know, there really isn't any captive bred specimens here in the United States, or at least very few of them exist here in the United States. It could be me, it could be you, I just don't know. No one knows. You just have to go out and hopefully get lucky for that one male. But I think the big thing that matters to me the most is that somebody actually documents like a recording of their pairing, because there is really no documentations at all of anyone pairing this tarantula species. There is confirmed people who have produced them in the hobby, but as for, recordings, pictures, and things like that, there is absolutely none for this species. So you could be the first person to actually document captive breeding of this species in the hobby. It could be you. I'm just saying, for me personally, I just don't have that male. But to you, your legacy, I think you can do it. Unless I get it first. But I guess I'll call this a video for today. So, as the typical, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to stick around. I'll try to upload every week, so please follow along and join us on the journey. And also support me on my social medias, such as my IG and Patreon. Shout out to my Patreon members for keeping my tarantulas fed. You guys are all amazing. Really, a big thank you for my Patreon supporters. And with that, stay lax and Laxow out from the Kumo Sensei.